Making your way into a comfortable seat. If you want to sit on a blanket or a block or a bolster, whatever feels more comfortable to you, either sitting cross-legged or sitting on your heels in Virasana, or even lying down if that feels best in your body. Finding your own comfortable seat, closing your eyes if you'd like, finding your breath, breathing in through the nose, exhaling out the mouth or the nose, whatever feels more natural. Finding your own rhythmic breath. Focusing your gaze on where your third eye might be, in between your eyebrows and the center of your forehead. Just focusing on a spot right there while you breathe in and out. Maybe visualizing your breath coming in and out like waves crashing on the sand at the beach. Bringing your right ear over to the right shoulder. Pausing here, taking a deep breath in and exhaling. Rolling the chin down through the chest, bringing the left ear over to the left shoulder. Pausing here, taking a deep breath in and exhaling. Rolling the chin back down through the center, right ear back over to the right shoulder. Head back to its natural upright position. Rolling the shoulders back a few times and forward. And once again, sitting in your comfortable seat. You want to set an intention for today's practice, putting an intention out in the universe, a special thought. And then if you'd like to join me in one Om to open our practice together today, or you can just listen. Deep breath in through the nose. Nice. Open your eyes when you're ready. We'll begin in child's pose. Making your way to your hands and knees. Arms extended long. Big toes touching. Knees wide open. Sitting back on the heels. Forehead to the mat. Still focusing on that breath. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth or the nose. If you're feeling any pain in your knees, you can always use a folded blanket or fold your mat in half for a little extra padding on your knees. On an inhale, coming up to hands and knees. Exhaling, tabletop. Palms directly under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of feet flat on the mat. I'm going to take some cat-cow breaths. On an inhale, concaving the spine, drawing the belly button down towards the mat, hips up, looking up, inhale. Exhale, arching, drawing the chin to the chest, nose to belly button. Inhale, concaving, hips up, looking up. Exhale, arching. Inhaling. And exhaling. And taking a few more on your own count. After your next exhale, coming back to tabletop, neutral spine. If you want to give your tail a little wag side to side. And then coming back to center. Next, inhale, right arm reaching up towards the ceiling, following with your eyes. Exhale, right arm threading through the left, either to the right palm, elbow, or shoulder to the mat. Maybe even resting that right ear on the mat if that feels okay. Just stopping wherever feels like enough for you. Breathing. Inhaling up to hands and knees, exhale, tabletop. Maybe another little wag of the tail, good the first time. And then back to center. Next, inhale, left arm reaching up towards the ceiling, following with your eyes. Exhale, left arm threading through the right, either to the left palm, elbow, or shoulder. Maybe resting that left ear on the mat if that feels okay. Breathing. Inhaling, hands and knees, exhale, tabletop. Next, we're going to extend the right leg out behind, tucking our right toes under on the mat or the floor, giving a nice press back with that right heel, a nice stretch in the calf, coming back to center. Then the left arm comes out, left bicep next to the left ear. Staying here if that feels like enough, or maybe elevating the right leg off the mat. Flexing right foot, hips in line, drawing in strong through your root, your pelvic floor. And then staying here if this feels like enough, or if you want to try bringing your right knee, left elbow to touch. Taking 2 or 3 crunches if that feels okay. And then after 2 or 3, left hand comes down, right knee comes back down, hands and knees. Next, we're going to extend our left leg out behind, tucking the left toes under on the mat. The floor, pressing back with that left heel, getting a nice stretch, coming back to center. Right arm comes out, right bicep next to the right ear. Staying here if that feels stable enough, or enough if you feel a little unstable, staying here, or maybe elevating that left leg off the mat. Flexing left foot, hips in line, really pulling in strong through your pelvic floor. And then staying here, or maybe bringing left knee, right elbow to touch. Taking 2 or 3 crunches. And then after about 2 or 3, right hand comes down, left knee comes back down. Hands and knees. Big toes touching, knees open, sitting back on the heels, arms extended long, forehead to the mat. Keeping in mind, you can always come back to this child's pose anytime during today's practice. If you're feeling a bit lightheaded or dizzy, or need a little break, it's always available. On an inhale, coming up to hands and knees. As we exhale, we're going to tuck our toes under, lifting our knees off the mat, drawing our hips up and back to downward dog. Lifting up and back with the hips, attempting to get the heels on the mat, not mandatory. Feet are wider than hips width, big toes in line with one another. Hands are about shoulders distance, thumbs are parallel with one another, really pressing down through the palms of the hands, pressing through all your knuckles and your fingers, giving the shoulders a nice roll back so the insides of your elbows face one another. And then drawing back with your hips again, ears in line with the biceps. Maybe keeping a slight bend in your knees if you're feeling any pressure, if you want to pedal your feet side to side a few times. Maybe gently shaking your head no to release any tension in your neck or your shoulders. And breathing. If down dog causes you pain, you can always come down to your forearms and take more of a dolphin pose. Or they make foam, kind of like a block pieces, like a wedge you can put under your feet to give you a little more support. Or you can always come down to your knees into more of like a puppy, a down puppy. But sometimes down dog doesn't feel good in the body, and it seems to be a common pose throughout the class. So there are alternatives if you don't enjoy coming back to this often. From here, we're going to bring our right hand a few feet towards our left hand, and we're going to step our right foot through to about a 90-degree bend. Our left heel pivots in or stays. We can stay on the ball of our left foot. So either pivoting left heel in or staying on the ball. And then we can use our right hand and then our left hand to bring ourselves up to standing. And then we can pivot that left heel in at that point if that feels okay. Hips facing forward, straight arms next to our ears. Warrior one, right side. Grounding down through that left heel, lifting up through your right quad, relaxing the shoulders, active arms. Breathing. From here, we're going to bring our right forearm to the top of our right thigh, and we're going to reach up and over with our left arm. Our left arm is reaching past our right toes, opening our chest slightly towards our left. Breathing. Inhaling, turning to face the mat. Exhale, left hand comes to the inside of the right foot, right hand to the outside of the right foot. Right foot steps back to meet the left, push up or hands and knees if you have it in your practice to take a chaturanga. Otherwise, just lifting the hips up and back to downward dog. It's up to you if you want to start warming up your body right away or kind of slowly ease into it if you want to take a little easier. Breathing. Here, we're going to bring the left hand a few feet closer to the right hand, stepping our left leg through to about a 90-degree bend, pivoting the right heel in or not, using our left hand and then our right hand to bring us up to standing, maybe then pivoting the right heel in. Hips forward, straight arms next to the ears. Warrior one, left side. Grounding down through the right heel, lifting up through your left quad. Relaxing the shoulders, active arms. Breathing. And then from here, our left forearm comes to the top of our left thigh, right arm reaching up and over past our left toes, slightly opening our chest towards our right. Breathing. Inhaling, turning to face the mat. Exhale, right hand coming to the inside of the left foot. Left hand outside the left foot, pivoting the right heel out. Both hands planted, left leg comes back to meet the right. Push up or hands and knees, belly or hover, cobra or upward dog. Back to downward dog. I'm gonna turn this space so my back isn't facing you. So we're still in down dog. On an inhale, big step through with the right leg, left heel pivots in. Coming up to standing, this time a wider stance, hips are facing forward, arms extended wide. Our right knee is in line with our right second toe. Our left leg is pivoted to the back of the outside of our left foot is parallel to the back of our mat. Arms extended wide. Gazing over that right middle finger. If you want to relax your shoulders and then draw them away from each other. Breathing. On an inhale, straighten that right knee. Exhale, pivoting your hips towards your left. Reaching forward with the right arm, either to your calf, ankle, maybe a block if you have access to one, on either side of your right foot. Left arm reaching up towards the ceiling, opening your shoulders, gazing inside that left palm, or keeping your gaze down towards the mat. Maybe keeping a soft bend in that front right knee if you're feeling any pressure. Engaging your root, your pelvic floor as you breathe. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, bending that right knee through warrior two once again. And then we're gonna straighten the right knee, reaching up and back with the right arm. Left hand slide to the back of the left thigh. Opening up those right ribs. Breathing into that right lung. Inhale, exhale, bending the right knee, right arm coming up and down outside of the right foot, left arm inside of the right foot, pivoting your left heel out. Both hands planted, right leg comes back to meet the left. Push up or hands and knees, belly or hover, cobra or upward dog. Back to downward dog. Left foot steps through, big step, right heel pivots in, coming up to standing, arms open wide, hips facing forward. Strong bend in that left knee. Right foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Left knee is in line with the left second toe, arms drawing away from each other, gazing over that left middle finger, relaxing your shoulders, drawing them away. Breathing. Inhaling, straighten that left knee, pivoting your hips towards your right, reaching forward with the left arm to your calf, ankle, maybe your foot, maybe a block on either side, right arm reaching up towards the ceiling, opening the shoulders, gazing inside that right palm, or keeping your gaze down towards the mat. Maybe keeping a soft bend in that front left knee if you're feeling any pressure, really engaging your root. Breathing. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, bending that left knee once again. And then straighten the left knee, reaching up and back with the left arm. Right hand slide in the back of the right thigh. Opening up those left ribs. Breathing into the left lung. Inhale, exhale, bend in the left knee, left arm coming up and down, outside of left foot, right arm inside of left foot, pivoting the right heel out. Both hands planted, left leg comes back to meet the right, push up or hands and knees, belly or hover, cobra or upward dog. Back to downward dog. From here, we're going to kick our right leg up towards the ceiling, pointing the right toes. We could always bring the left knee down to the mat if we need a little extra support. Bending that right knee, opening our hips towards the right side wall if that feels okay. Otherwise, hips can stay facing forward. Maybe giving that right knee a stir clockwise and then counterclockwise. Then coming back to center. And then we're going to draw that right knee through our center, hovering over the backs of our hands, opening that right shin to a figure four. Resting the right knee on the mat, keeping our weight centered, sliding the left leg long behind, coming to the top of that left knee, top of the left foot. Once again, keeping our weight centered, not collapsing into that right hip. Staying here with straight arms or maybe coming down to our forearms. We can stack our fists, resting our forehead on the stack, or even placing our forehead on a block. We can place a block under that right hip if we'd like. Or if this is too painful for anyone, you can always come on your back, and then you can cross your right ankle over your left knee. I have a battery thing back here, but imagine I'm on my back and I'm crossing my right ankle over my left knee, and that will get the same type of stretch that we're creating in this pigeon version. So, breathing, hanging out here for a few more breaths. On an inhale, straightening the arms, coming to flat palms. Removing any blocks, exhaling, rolling over to that right hip, swinging the left leg around, making your way into cross-legged, rolling forward to hands and knees, stepping back to plank, or hands and knees, optional chaturanga, downward dog. And then from downward dog, we're going to kick that same right leg up that we just pigeoned. And we're going to bend that right knee, opening our hip towards the side, giving it a nice stir clockwise and then counterclockwise. We're just bringing fresh blood back to that artery that we cut off just to kind of rejuvenate it. And then we're going to step that right leg down to its home in our down dog. If you want to pedal your feet a few times, just checking in. And breathing. Then we're going to kick our left leg up towards the ceiling, pointing our left toes. We could always bring that right knee down to the mat if we need a little extra support. Bending that left knee, opening our hips towards the left if that feels okay. Otherwise, hips can stay facing forward. Maybe giving that left knee a stir clockwise and then counterclockwise. And then coming back to center, We're going to draw that left knee through our center, hovering over the backs of our hands, opening our left shin to a figure four, keeping our weight centered, sliding that right leg long behind, coming to the top of that right knee, top of the right foot, staying here with straight arms, or maybe coming down to our forearms. We can stack our fists, resting our forehead on the stack or on a block, or we can place a block under that left hip. And once again, if this is feeling a little too intense, you can always come onto your back and cross your left ankle over your right knee and take a figure four. Breathing. Couple more breaths here. On your next inhale, straightening your arms, coming to flat palms, removing any blocks, exhaling, rolling over to that left hip, swinging the right leg around, making your way into cross-legged, rolling forward. Try not to get tangled in your mic. Stepping back to hands and knees or plank, optional chaturanga. Downward dog. And then once again, once you've gotten to your down dog, we're going to kick that left leg up, bending the left knee, opening our hips, just giving it a nice circle clockwise and counterclockwise. And then stepping that left foot down, pedaling our feet side to side a few times. And just breathing. From here, we're going to step our right foot through our hands, coming into a 90-degree bend in that right knee. Knee directly over the ankle. Left toes can stay tucked under with the left knee elevated, or we can release the left knee on top of the left foot if that feels more supportive. Hands can stay on either side of the right foot or on blocks, or we can try bringing our hands to the top of the right thigh, drawing the inner thighs towards one another, lifting up, facing forward. Breathing. And then choose to stay forward facing, or we could take a twist, taking the left elbow to the outside of the right quad, hands together, prayer twisting, gazing just past that right elbow, or keeping your gaze down towards the mat. And left knee to the mat is always an option. If you've taken the twist, coming back to forward facing, one hand on each side of your right foot, releasing your left knee to the mat, top of the left foot, drawing your weight back, extending your right toes towards the ceiling, sitting back wherever feels like enough for you. Maybe all the way in your left heel, maybe hovering over your right knee feels like enough. Maybe reaching for that right foot, whatever feels best in your body. On an inhale, coming to the top of that left knee, exhale, rolling that right foot down, a flat foot, freeing the right knee back to meet the left, toes touching, Sitting back on the heels, arms extended long, forehead to the mat. Inhaling up to hands and knees. As we exhale, we're going to tuck our toes under, lifting our knees off the mat, drawing the hips up and back to down dog. On your next inhale, stepping the left foot through, coming into a 90-degree bend on the left side, a 90-degree bend on the left side, pardon me. Knee directly over the ankle. Right toes can stay tucked under with the right knee elevated, or we can release the right knee on top of the right foot. Hands can stay on either side of the left foot, or we can try bringing them to the top of the left thigh. Drawing the inner thighs towards one another, lifting up, facing forward. Breathing. And right knee can always come down to the mat if that feels more supportive. And then choosing to stay forward facing. Or we can take a twist, taking the right elbow to the outside of the left quad. Hands together in prayer, twisting. Gazing just past that left elbow. Or keeping your gaze down towards the mat. And if you have that right knee elevated, it can be released down to the mat at any point. If you've taken the twist, releasing the right knee to the mat, coming back to forward facing. One hand on each side of the left foot. Drawing your weight back, extending the left toes towards the ceiling, sitting back wherever feels like enough for you. Maybe all the way on the right heel. Maybe hovering over your left knee feels like enough. Maybe reaching for that left foot. Finding wherever feels like enough for you. On an inhale, coming to the top of that right knee, exhale, rolling that left foot down to flat foot. Bring the left knee back to meet the right. Toes touching, sitting back on the heels, arms extended long, forehead to the mat. Inhaling up to hands and knees. As we exhale, drawing our shoulders a little more forward in the backs of our hands, walking the knees back slightly, bending the elbows, keep them close to the rib cage, lowering all the way down to the belly. Once you've lowered all the way down, bringing one side of the cheek to the mat, arms long by your sides, flip-flopping the feet a few times, giving your hips a wiggle, rotating your wrists in one direction and then the other. And then just taking a few restful breaths. Inhale, forward facing. As we exhale, extending our arms long in front. We're going to go through one limb at a time. On your next inhale, lifting up that right leg. Straight right leg, pointing the right toes. Exhale, releasing. Next inhale, lifting up that left leg, straight left leg, pointing the left toes. Exhale, releasing. Inhaling, right arm reaching out, strong fingers. Exhale, releasing. Next, inhale, left arm reaching out. Strong fingers. Exhale, releasing. Now we're gonna go opposite limbs. So right leg, left arm, and lowering. Left leg, right arm, and lowering. Now same side of the body, right leg, right arm, and lowering. Left leg, left arm, and lowering. Let's take a little break, bending the elbows, one hand on top of the other, one side of the cheek to the back of the hands. Taking a few restful breaths here, getting ourselves prepared to lift all four limbs at once. Inhale, facing forward. Exhaling, extending your arms long in front. One practice breath in. Exhale, next breath in, lifting all four limbs off the mat at once. Really drawing in strong through your root, drawing your shoulders back, letting your heart shine through. And tiny sips of air. A little higher. And releasing, lowering all the way down, bending the elbows, one hand on top of the other side of the cheek to the back of the hands. Breathing. From here, we're going to bend our knees, flexing our feet. The bottoms of our feet are parallel to the ceiling. Facing forward, if you want to windshield wiper your feet side to side a few times. Coming back to center. Reaching back with your arms, either for your heels, ankles, toes, pant legs, attempting to grab something, whatever is there. And then choose to stay just like this. Or if you want to take it one step further, drawing your knees together, flexing your feet, using your feet to kick up your hands and your hands to flip your feet, drawing your shoulders back, letting your heart shine through. One more breath in. And releasing, letting your legs, arms, face, breath, flip-flopping your feet, giving your hips a wiggle, rotating your wrists one way and then the other. And then just taking a few restful breaths. From here, we're going to place our hands under our shoulders, facing forward, pressing ourselves up to hands and knees, then sitting back on our heels. From here, we're going to gently roll over to our right hip, extending our legs in front of us, making our way to our backs. If you want to bend your knees first, keeping your feet planted on the mat, and slowly walk yourself to your back, whatever feels best for you. Once you arrive, feet are planted down on the mat, knees bent, feet are about hips width, arms long by your sides, toes are slightly facing one another, slightly pigeon-toed. Being able to brush your heels with your fingertips is usually an indication you're in a good spot. Staring straight up towards the ceiling. Grounding down through the bottoms of the feet. On an inhale, we're going to lift our hips up. As we exhale, drawing the inner thighs towards one another, pointing your knees forward. Staying just like this if you'd like, or if you want to try placing a block under your sacrum, if you have a block available, your sacrum, your tailbone area. Or you could even try tucking one shoulder blade at a time and binding your hands beneath you if that feels okay. Or maybe none of those things, whatever feels best for you. If you want to try kicking one leg up towards the ceiling and putting that foot down and then kicking up the other leg, you can try playing around with that a few times. And then making sure both feet are planted on the mat. On an inhale, lifting up the hips, removing any blocks, untucking the shoulders. As you exhale, slowly lowering one vertebra at a time, all the way down to your neutral spine. Once you've lowered all the way, gently begin to windshield wiper your knees side to side. Coming back to center. Drawing your knees into your chest, wrapping your arms on the outsides of your legs, gently rocking side to side, maybe in a circular motion in one direction, and then the other, and then coming back to center. We're going to continue to draw the right knee into the chest, extending the left leg long and flat on the mat. Straightening that right leg up towards the ceiling, binding the fingers behind the right hamstring, giving it a gentle pull. Then bending that right knee. With the left hand, we're going to draw the right knee towards the left side of our bodies. Trying to keep both shoulders on the mat, and then turning to face our right hand. On an inhale, lifting up that right knee. Exhale, rolling back to your neutral spine, hugging both knees into your chest. Wrapping your arms on the outsides of your legs, gently rocking side to side, maybe in a circular motion in one direction, and then the other. Coming back to center, continuing to hug the left knee into the chest, extending the right leg long on the mat. Straightening that left leg up towards the ceiling, binding the fingers behind the left hamstring, giving it a gentle press. And then bending that left knee. With the right hand, we're going to draw the left knee towards the right side of our bodies. Trying to keep both shoulders on the mat, and then turning to face our left hand. And inhale, lifting up that left knee. Exhale, rolling back to your flat back once again, pulling your knees into your chest, wrapping your arms on the outsides of your legs, giving yourself a nice bear hug, rocking side to side, coming back to center. If you want to bring your arms to the insides of your knees and grab the outsides of your feet, taking a happy baby or maybe a one leg at a time baby, if that feels more comfortable. But if you're home and you have the space and you don't feel shy and you just want to happy baby it out, or if you want to bring the soles of your feet together and take a Baddha Konasana shape, whatever feels the yummiest to you today. If you have it in your practice to take plow and you want to kick your legs back behind you. Wherever you are, gently begin to come back to your neutral spine, bringing your heels to your, bending your knees, bringing your heels to your backside, pressing your knees towards one another, wrapping your arm on the outsides of your legs, giving yourself the tightest hug, chin to your chest, forehead to your knees, wrapping yourself into the tightest ball you can make, squeezing your eyes shut, pursing your lips, making yourself as little as possible, and then letting everything go. Legs long in front of you, arms long by your sides, flip-flopping your feet, giving your hips a wiggle, rotating your wrists in one direction and then the other, letting your shoulders melt into the mat, into the floor, into the earth, relaxing your jaw, your forehead, your skull, and then finally closing your eyes, making your way into Shavasana, your final resting pose of class, your yoga nap. I'm going to play a mellower song and I'll let you know when it's time to come out of it. Gently begin to start wiggling your fingers and toes. When you feel ready, slowly rolling over to your right or your left side, whatever feels more natural to you. Hanging out there for a few moments. Gently begin to flutter your eyes open and closed a few times. And when you feel ready, slowly making your way up to seated, and we'll close our practice together today. Once again, finding your comfortable seat from the beginning of class, closing your eyes if you'd like, finding your breath, that third eye gaze, doing a quick check-in with your body, seeing how you're feeling now from the beginning of class, if anything shifted, and maybe taking a moment to acknowledge something or someone you're grateful for. If you'd like to join me in one Om to close our practice together today, or you can just listen. Deep breath in through the nose. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.